CNBC, our next guest sent shockwaves across the crypto market when he made these comments on CNBC earlier today.
Bitcoin's historically traded at 2.5 times its mining cost, so it's not out of the question that it could be over 20,000 by the end of the year.
Now, Bitcoin would still have to rally over 200% to reach 20,000, but the $20,000 comment was interpreted by some as a sign of bearishness. Now, we may remember, even as Bitcoin has plunged, Tom Lee has stood by his 25,000 year-end price target for Bitcoin. Tom, though, is back to say reports of his bearishness have been greatly exaggerated. Tom, thanks for coming back. It did take me aback. I was there on Squawk Box with you this morning, and it did take me aback when you said over 20,000 instead of saying 25K. So do you stand by 25K?
Well, I do think it's the first time I've ever heard someone thinking something could triple is a bearish comment.
Yes.
Right. I may have misspoken a little bit. I think what I was trying to illustrate was that given where mining cost will be and applying the historical average of 2.5 times mining cost, that would imply fair value over 20,000, roughly 22,000. So I don't, we still think Bitcoin can reach 25,000 by the end of the year or something like that. But it's still a huge move from where it is now.
So you're not bearish, and I get how that's completely exaggerated, taken out of context, but it doesn't sound like you're as bullish. We've had Rob Slimer on from your shop as well, and at the charts, he would put Bitcoin up, he would come over, I would ask him, so, is 25K possible? And he's like, it's going to be hard. But yeah, that's the forecast.
If you look at the history of Bitcoin, I think a couple of reasons why 25,000 is still possible is one, Bob has pointed out, Bitcoin moved, from 7,000 to 10,000 in a couple of weeks. But from a historical perspective, over any 6-month period, 35% of the time, it's more than tripled. So in other words, it's, in any typical period, Bitcoin could triple, 1 in 3 times. So I think it's not out of the question that Bitcoin can make a big move from here. And I would just point out what makes it unusual today is that Bitcoin's trading below mining cost. And 6 months forward, now this is only, of course, roughly 10 years of history, Bitcoin's had a positive return in nearly 100% of instances whenever it's traded below mining cost. So I think the risk reward is still very asymmetrically positive for Bitcoin.